It was a warm spring day in 2011, my 13th birthday. Prior to that day, I was pestering my parents for months about how badly I wanted an Xbox to play with my friends. Well, imagine my shock when my parents brought in an Xbox 360 packaged with one of my now favorite games of all time, Halo Reach. Over the years, I burned out not one but two different copies of Reach. I was hooked. Thousands of hours playing the various Halo games led me to being a huge fan of the series. This epic space adventure is Microsoft's flagship series and is revered in the gaming community as one of the best FPS series out there. Or, at least it used to be. Now, when Combat Evolved was released, it was something special. It practically innovated the FPS genre for consoles. Instead of pointing a mouse on a computer screen, the madmen at Bungie created a great control scheme for controllers for this epic sci-fi world. Now, it did all of that on top of creating Master Chief, Cortana, the Covenant, the Flood, and just the world of Halo that we all know and love. Now, what happened after that? Halo 2, baby. This game was huge for gamers. It was everything that a good sequel should be. It continued the story of Chief, made cool new game mechanics like dual wielding, introduced the Arbiter amongst other things, and ended with an awesome cliffhanger making fans thirst for the final installment of the Halo trilogy. Now, after that, Halo 3 was the pinnacle of the series for most people. Not only was it designed to be the original ending for Chief and Cortana, but it basically exploded. Sales were off the charts, we had an incredible marketing campaign that got casual people into the series, Forge was introduced, and the multiplayer was huge. Halo 3 was one of the landmark games that was heavily affiliated with MLG back in the day as well. Now after that, we had Reach. While it may be somewhat controversial, this is still my favorite Halo to go back and play. The graphics were a cut above all the previous games, the campaign was compelling with some great characterization from Noble Team, and we get to see exactly what happened to start the Human Covenant War for the first 3 games. And then, Bungie left. Now, after Bungie parted ways with the Halo series, 343 took over sole creative duties for Halo 4. This is where things changed. Gone were the days of the juggernaut sandbox shooter, instead we had a Call of Duty with a sci-fi skin. Halo 4 continues the Halo story while introducing the Forerunners. Loadouts, a quicker time to kill, sprinting, and an art style change made Halo 4 a contentious entry to the series. Halo 5 was next, and the trailers for this game had the fandom hyped. We see Chief on the run as Spartan Locke was chasing him down, and the game was not like that. At all. On top of the butchered story that Halo 5 had, the gameplay played much more like a movement shooter as sprinting returned, as well as vaulting, sliding, and thrusters. While the 343 Halo games do have their fans, for many, they don't feel like Halo. Whether it's the story, gameplay, or art style, 4 and 5 managed to deflate the fanbase, and it felt like classic Halo now belonged to a bygone era. But then, a glimmer of hope emerged during E3 2018. This hope made us all believe that Halo isn't gone, but is in fact, infinite. Originally revealed in 2018, Halo Infinite's announcement trailer was tantalizing. The reveal of Chief's helmet over the lush landscape of Zeta Halo had the fans buzzing with excitement. From the get-go, 343 was trying to emulate what made Halo great in the first place. Gone are the days of the overdesigned Spartan armor from Halo 4 and 5. Chief is back and is as chunky as ever. Fast forward to E3 2019, we see another trailer that features a new character known as the Pilot. This trailer hit a lot of the emotional notes that Halo's story is known for. Once again, hype was soaring from this next reveal. Infinite seemed to have been really going back to its roots and making sure that they were making a Halo game first and a money-making, transaction-filled game second. Finally, in 2020, we got gameplay of Halo Infinite. On the surface, 8 minutes of unfiltered campaign gameplay at this point would have made people giddy with joy. However, the gameplay we got was not the best looking. The actual gameplay we got seemed pretty solid. We had Chief running and gunning with various new weapons, RIP Magnum, and of course throwing plasma coils. Honestly, whoever added that to the game needs a raise. It's so awesome to just chuck a handheld nuke into your enemies. Mechanically, it seemed like the game was everything Halo should be, including the Power Rangers-esque villain. One thing that has been talked to death is the graphics in this reveal. With no exaggeration, Minecraft with shaders is prettier looking than most of those mountainsides. There was some immediate backlash, which prompted a statement saying that the game will now be released in 2021 as opposed to holiday of 2020. Rush game bad forever, delayed game good eventually, tangent, or whatever here. But this delay raised concerns with fans as it seemed like the cracks were starting to show. The graphics were dookie for a lot of it, and multiplayer gameplay was nowhere to be seen. It definitely put a damper on the Halo Infinite hype train. 11 months later, in June of 2021, we finally got 2 new videos. One of which was the developer commentary going over the campaign, and it looks pretty great. People were starting to get excited once again in the hopeful return to form of Infinite's campaign. We also received the very first multiplayer trailer, and I actually rewatched this like 50 times just because of how hyped I was. The excitement was reaching a fever pitch with this. The first multiplayer trailer showed off some exciting new weaponry like the skewer and showcased some of the new equipment found in the game. In the trailer, they announced the multiplayer flights where the general fanbase would be able to get their hands on the game for the first time. Finally releasing in November of 2021, Halo truly felt like it was back. Initial reviews were positive, despite Infinite not having some core features like Forge or Split Screen, but the gameplay felt tight, the sandbox felt like it had depth and room to grow, and the campaign teed up an interesting mystery with the Endless. So, where did it go wrong? Like I already said, I greatly enjoyed the opening months of Halo Infinite. I finished the campaign and played a ton of the multiplayer. That being said, something became apparent after playing a lot of multiplayer games. The variety of game modes and maps were just not there. At this point, I've been playing Halo for over a decade. In the past, if I ever wanted to play a specific game mode, I could just select the playlist, but now, everything was broken up into larger playlists so there'd be times where you'd get stuck playing many different game modes or maps that you just did not care about. That's not even considering legacy game modes like Infection not even existing in the game. Also, there's still no working custom browser over a year after the game came out. And there's only been a couple maps released on top of the egregiously priced cosmetics that seem to be taking up the majority of the team's effort. That has all happened before Microsoft instituted a 10,000 person layoff company-wide. Many figureheads on the Infinite team have either been laid off, moved to a different department, or left the company entirely. Many of the people who worked on the campaign of Infinite have now been laid off, which means that this all but confirms that we won't be getting any campaign DLC for a long time, if at all. This news just deflated me. I don't have the energy to be angry at this wasted potential anymore. I tried to defend Infinite with a just wait mentality because I was so eager to see what could be a monumental game. This could have been the best that Halo had to offer, but now we're stuck with limited content, baffling management decisions, and microtransactions. It needs to be said that I don't blame the actual developers for this at all. I fully believe that this is a strictly management issue. I guarantee that everyone working on Infinite is a fan of the series and wants nothing but the best. But I'm just tired. I'm no longer watching the development diary as excited for what's next, but instead I just let out a disappointed sigh. And that sucks, man. I actually streamed the beta of Infinite when it first came out, and I was in love. It's such a shame to see how quickly the enthusiasm I had fade away after the release of a game like this. I'm hoping that this is less of a farewell and more of a see you later to Halo, but my hope and optimism for the series has been shot. It feels like gone are the days of playing on Blood Gulch for hours or fighting your friends to see who can get to the sniper spawn first. It just feels hollow. If Infinite makes large strides in the near future, I would love to come back and try again, but unfortunately, I'm not holding my breath. Alright, well, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. I've been Jared, you've been wonderful. See you guys next time.